Do you ever notice that right before something really big happens in your life, it feels like everything is falling apart? The chaos, the confusion, and the sudden changes. People rarely talk about this, but it is actually the start of an identity shift. And if you don't understand how this works, all of that chaos can pull you right back into the version of yourself that you're trying to outgrow. So, in this video, I'm going to show you why your old identity collapses, why relationships and opportunities suddenly shift, why things feel unstable or disorganized, and how to recognize this as a good sign, not a setback. And by the end, you will know how to navigate this space with awareness so that you can allow your next level to land fully. Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie Faber. I am a spiritual guide and an expansion specialist, and I help people shift their identity at an energetic level so that their external reality can finally reorganize around who they're becoming. When people hear identity shift, they often imagine a smooth, inspiring step into their next level. But the truth is, before that expansion can land, the old identity needs to collapse. And an identity collapse is not a breakdown, it's your system physically and energetically letting go of the version of you that survived in fear and scarcity and overprotection. So you might feel it in your body as sensations like tension in your chest or a tight stomach, restlessness or a heaviness in your shoulders. Your mind might feel scattered or uncertain, or like everything that you used to rely on no longer works. During this phase, you start to see yourself more clearly. The patterns that you've repeated and the compromises you've made, all of the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden. And once that clarity lands, there's no going back because your energy no longer supports what your old identity tolerated. So you might notice your intuition nudging you differently, making you pause before you say yes, or you start to notice subtle red flags. You might feel drawn to things that you previously ignored. Your standards start to shift. The things that used to feel normal now start to feel off. And your relationships that once flowed easily might start to feel tense. Collaborations, plans might dissolve unexpectedly. All of this is your internal system recalibrating. And if you don't understand the structure, the chaos might feel like a setback, and you might unconsciously cling to all of your old patterns, pushing yourself back into the version of you that's familiar but no longer aligned. When you can recognize it, you can realize that the physical, emotional, and energetic turbulence is not a mistake. It's your body and your field clearing space for the next level. And the external world will eventually realign with your new identity. So, one of the first things that most people notice immediately during an identity shift is that their relationships start to feel different. It's not because there's anything wrong with the other person, but it's because your energy is no longer available for that old dynamic. So, you might notice feeling annoyed or frustrated with the patterns you used to engage in. Maybe that's overgiving or rescuing or people pleasing or negotiating to keep things running smooth. It's not the people that you're rejecting, it's the energetic dynamic itself. All of those old loops start to feel draining. And this happens because as your energetic field expands, you literally start broadcasting a new energetic field that says, this is all I am available for. Some people have the capacity to rise and meet you in that frequency, and that connection will evolve. But other people, they can't match that vibration, and the relationship will naturally end. But the natural ending cannot happen if you're clinging, if you're trying to force an old dynamic or negotiating or performing to keep it alive. When you cling, your energy resists the shift, and both you and the other person can get pulled back into the old pattern. True alignment only happens when you allow the energetic field to reorganize naturally, letting go of what no longer resonates and creating space for what does. The key is to witness all of this without judgment. Your energy is signaling what you can and cannot engage with now. And the relationships that remain aligned feel lighter and more expansive and energizing. So, another thing that happens as your energy expands is that opportunities built on your old self start to fall away. This is a natural and necessary part of the process. As your energy shifts, anything that no longer matches that frequency of the version of yourself you're embodying simply cannot stay in your experience. I've had this experience in my own life too. The moment I chose to upgrade my identity, a collaboration that I was working with for the last year immediately fell away. Now, what's so fascinating is that there are two ways that this can be perceived. Perspective number one is that it's a loss and it's a disappointment. So I could have felt resistance or confusion or panic because I had been investing in this collaboration for a long time and it suddenly disappeared. The second perspective, the one that I chose to take, was that it was simply no longer aligned. This collaboration didn't match the frequency of the version of myself I was embodying. So the universe removed it instantly to make space for something new. I didn't have to do anything. It dissolved naturally because my energy had shifted. And this is the fundamental principle of energetic alignment. The universe responds instantly to the vibration you are broadcasting. So if your energy is now operating at a higher frequency, anything that cannot resonate at that level will step aside. And this doesn't just apply to one opportunity or one relationship, it applies to multiple areas of your life: collaborations, projects, offers, or even the way that you previously engaged in your work. They naturally dissolve to make space for what is truly aligned. So the lesson here is to trust. Trust the process, trust your new identity, and trust that the external world is rearranging itself to match the version of you that already exists inside. When you hold on to old opportunities, you risk keeping yourself tethered to that old vibration. But when you allow them to go, you create a field of space where new opportunities and new collaborations and new experiences can flow effortlessly towards you. Now, let's talk about the energetic lag, because it's not universal and it's not random. It really is all about perspective. So I've had moments in my own journey where the reflection in my life shifted immediately after I claimed a new identity. And I've had moments where there was a very noticeable lag. The difference from my perspective has always come down to how deeply ingrained the old belief systems were in my previous identity. So some identities like abundance or worthiness or safety, they can show up instantly. For example, when I made the choice to embody abundance, it wasn't that more abundance naturally appeared in my life. It was that I could finally see what was already there. Opportunities, support, synchronicities, they were always present, but my old identity was filtering them out. Now, there are other identities, especially the ones that are tied to deep conditioning or trauma, that take longer for the reflection to catch up. When your nervous system has been trained to expect rejection or danger or scarcity, those patterns have momentum. They don't collapse overnight. And that's okay. The lag isn't a problem, it's a clearing, it's integration. It is your system recalibrating. Your perception, your energy, your nervous system are all aligning into this new version of you. So sometimes the universe can only reorganize at the speed you're ready to release the old identity. The fastest shifts happen where your old patterns were flexible, and the longest lags happen where the old identity was built from survival because it served a purpose. And letting go requires you to trust in the new version of you. So yes, sometimes the reflection is instant and sometimes it takes time, but either way, your external reality will always catch up to the identity that you are embodying. The only variable is how tightly you're holding on to the old story. So once you understand that the lag is natural, the next question becomes, how do you move through it without collapsing back into your old identity? The first key is awareness. Notice when your mind wants to push, control, or force outcomes to recreate the old momentum. Recognize when you're tempted to shrink or people please or overfunction to make something work. That is your old identity trying to anchor you back into familiar patterns. The second key is presence. Stay in the experience of where you are right now. Let yourself feel the truth of your new identity, even if the world hasn't reflected it yet. Practice choosing actions that match your expanded self, not the old version of you. And the third key is trust. Trust that your internal shift has already happened. Trust that the external world will reorganize in its own time to reflect your new energy, because forcing outcomes only creates resistance and prolongs the leg. And finally, remember that the leg is clearing space. Every dissolved collaboration, every shifted opportunity, every relationship that feels different is not a loss. It's a clearing. It's creating room for experiences and people and opportunities to match your new vibration. So when you notice discomfort or confusion or uncertainty, remind yourself this is a sign that your transformation is real. Your energy is already operating at a higher frequency. Your world is just catching up. Your job is to stay aligned, to act from your expanded self, and to allow the universe to do the rest. So I'm so curious, what part of your life feels like it's rearranging right now? Is it relationships, money, opportunities? Drop it in the comments. I would love to see where your system is shifting. Shifts like this can feel confusing and uncomfortable, but every single change you notice in relationships and opportunities or collaborations, it's a signal that your identity is expanding. Reflection in your life will follow the internal shift. It's just a matter of time. So if this video resonated with you and you want more support navigating these changes, the Finding Authenticity membership is the perfect next step. Inside the membership, there are 2 spaces designed to guide your transformation. The inner circle is my foundational container for building self-safety and energetic alignment. So in this space, you get weekly reflections and nervous system tools and energy activations to help you stay grounded and present and fully embodied in your new expanded identity. And the Healing and Alignment Hub is a more expansive space to accelerate your transformation. This space includes workshops, weekly live coaching calls, and 3 core courses designed to help you release old patterns, integrate new identities, and step confidently into a life that reflects your true self. Both of these spaces work together to help you move through the messy middle of identity expansion, to navigate all of the energetic shifts, and to create external results that match the version of yourself that you're becoming. If you're ready to step into your expanded self, learn more and join the Finding Authenticity membership using the link below. Remember, you are not doing this alone. Every shift, every moment of uncertainty, every letting go, you have support. You don't have to navigate this transformation by yourself, and you don't have to wait to start. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video.